What you can see here, there is a large dent up here in the quarter panel. You can definitely see that it has a lot of crowns, but what we can't see is what's underneath the bumper. Typically, dents like this are caused from an impact below the bumper. So essentially, it actually got backed into and pushed below the bumper, causing this dent to emerge above that line. But anyhow, we're going to go ahead and jump in here and we're going to pull the bumper off. I'm going to show you in detail how we repair dents like this. So let's go ahead and jump in here and get started. All right, everybody, the first thing that we're going to do here is pull off the bumper. We'll go ahead and get that out of the way, and now we can actually see kind of underneath the damage. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the taillight, get this plastic piece out of the way, and we'll be able to get a true picture of what this dent really looks like from underneath. You can see there's a little bit of paint damage there. It is cracked out a little bit, but there is a definite bow in the panel. Basically, the bottom line has completely bowed out, as you can see right here. If you held a yardstick to it, there would be a nice gap from beginning to end. And that is where our technique is going to come in as far as repairing a dent like this. So nice big bow in there. Definitely a decent sized dent on the bottom of a quarter panel. We have a battery in the way. We're going to go ahead and remove that. This way we can actually see the inside of the panel. Let's jump in here. There we are. We've got our understructure there. You can see the holes where the plastic piece came out of. Definitely got a big area in there to work. Lot to work around there. All right, so now again we'll check out the outside of the panel. We're going to do a lot of monitoring from the inside to the outside. Now, as you can see here, we actually have a sledgehammer with some Gorilla Tape wrapped up on one end. I'm going to actually start dollying that line right there on out. So I'm actually just kind of moving this thing along. It's the beginning of the repair. We want to see how much of it moves out. Now you can actually see some of my hits right there. That was a really good one there. And you can start to see the dent begin to move its way out a little bit. Definitely now we're actually hitting from underneath, dollying it upwards. Now I've got a softer knockdown here, and I'm actually going to go in here and start blending out the top of this big crown. We've definitely got our pressure going in the right direction down there at the bottom. Now we need to complement that by tapping out the top and begin blending out that nice big, almost like an arch of a crown. Definitely has that arch effect starting from the beginning down there at the bottom and then going to the other side. Going to start working that back side there because we can see a little bit of it from this angle, but we're definitely going to need a cross check. That's just essential when working any crown. You're definitely going to look at it from a few angles. And here we are, we're actually going to go in with a sharper tip knockdown and just kind of try to blend out our work that we've moved along with the softer tip knockdown. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into our cross-checking angle. So here I am just kind of tapping and blending out the little spots that we might have missed otherwise, and we're doing that in conjunction with tapping out the inside of the panel. A little bit of back and forth there to try to bring this thing up with balance. As you can see here, we're really getting some movement now with our hits. We're actually moving that quarter panel along. You're starting to see it shape up a little bit through the center of that line. Still looks a little bit choppy, but that's every dent. That's just how it is. I apologize here. I'm going to be in front of the camera. My shoulder was in the way, but I just want to show you that I'm still dollying the bottom of the line. So got a lot of Gorilla Tape on the end of that tool. And now you can see lots of movement there. Between tapping on the inside and dollying that bottom line, we're really starting to shape this thing up as far as getting to the point to where we can begin doing some pushing on this dent. You can definitely see a elongated crease line down there at the bottom. We're going to go ahead and remove this factory plug. and then basically just jump on in there. That's a decent size factory plug there. I think it's a little bit bigger than a 1/2 inch because this is a 36-inch soft tip double bend tool that we have here. And now just going to go ahead and put that into our hole here. And I'm going to step back and begin doing some pushing. Again, we're always trying to bring the dent up with stability. The least stable part is down here at the bottom of the dent. So I'll begin scrolling around and just kind of tightening up that bottom edge. Now I know some of these pushes are going to look a little bit aggressive, and no worries on that. We are still using a soft tip. A soft tip is going to be one of the easiest tools that we're going to be able to blend a dent like this out. Definitely going to be able to make them pushes. They're not aggressive. It's not like using a sharp tip. We're going to be able to move a lot of metal at one time, kind of gain some stability in this dent. Now, as you can see, I'm going towards the top now and just working that area, and going to run through that crown and just kind of try to basically connect the dots. Everywhere you see a little dot, you might want to overextend it a little bit. You know that you're going to go back into a blending session. And there's a lot of exchange of pushing and tapping when you deal with damage like this. You can see my position here. I've actually got 2 hands moving this thing. By no means was this an easy dent to move out. I'm actually looking down the panel and 2 hands applying pressure during the pushing procedure. And now, again, we're going to go in for a blending session. That's just very, very common that you're going to be pushing and blending and pushing and blending. You're kind of over molding the dent, creating stability, and then you're tapping it down to blend it into the surrounding panel. Now we're going to go into some blending with a blending hammer, and as you can see, I'm elevated at this point. I'm actually standing up and blending through and looking through all the little waves. Now I'm in a seated position where my head can be a little bit more eye level with the damage. And that's a real nice position to be in while blending. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the tip, turning this soft tip tool into actually a bullet tip, which is a little, quite a bit sharper. It's definitely a metal tip, and we're ready to get some pinpoint precision pushing. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and scroll around here. You can see my tool moving around, and I'm going to start off by getting right into some of that crown. Now you got a lot of displaced metal in these crowns, and when you're knocking them down, sometimes they break up a little bit, and you got to get that tool in there and just begin connecting the dot. Now I'm scrolling down there to the bottom. A little bit of tapping here, again, just kind of blending it out, trying to get the natural curves where they need to be within this panel. And little by little, you'll begin seeing this thing take shape. Just basically metal sculpting at its finest. In here, just tapping and blending and getting things set here. I'm at a deeper position there, tapping. And now we'll go ahead and see where we are at. We'll take a look at this panel. The bottom line is definitely beginning to come together. You can see that we have a natural curve in the panel now, rather than that really deep push in. You can see down here at the bottom, it's kind of a straight line there. That's definitely what we were looking for. I'm going to do a little bit more picking on the inside of this. Right up there at the top of the line, I'm going to kind of still pick it clean just a little bit more. But what we're doing, we're preparing this thing to actually wet sand the finish and do a little bit of buffing, kind of retexturing. So in essence, it wasn't good enough quite yet to go in there and retexture the finish and expect to have it nice and clean, but we are dialing it in. Now Alan's going to go ahead and spray it down here and get it ready here, spray the block, and do some wet sanding. He will do the checkerboard pattern here, up and down from side to side. And we'll put a little bit of compound on here and actually put a wheel to it. So we'll watch Alan go ahead and buff this out. And then at this point, we're going to jump in here and take another look at it here with the bumper still off. As you can see, it's definitely starting to clean up rather nice. Would not say absolutely perfect, but I will tell you the customer was very happy with a repair like this, and we were able to save them, quite a bit of money. It definitely came out real nice in my opinion for what it was. And these dents can be a little bit tough, but with a little bit of practice, you'll get them down. No problem at all. And here are the tools. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tools. And that soft tip kind of served as 2 tools. Blending hammer, that sledgehammer was very important. In fact, that's one of my favorite tools. So we're all finished.